Happy Friday. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Thank you for being here with us and welcome back to the Veterans Radio Show. On our Veterans Radio Show, we talk with heroes in action, making it happen for our veteran community. I am your host, Dali, and we want to welcome you onto our live audience on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Amazon Live, and of course, our podcast listeners. We appreciate you and your service. And this is a Veterans Radio Show. And without you, we would not be able to bring this segment to you. So don't forget to subscribe and share this link with others. And please feel free to post any comments during our episode. We love seeing your questions and coming in from our guests as we are live. So about our guest today, we have a very special person. We have Ronald Zielinski. He's a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. He served from 1970 to 72, and he is the founder of the Long Walk Home, a nonprofit organization with the mission to help veterans make the transition from military to civilian life. However, before we start talking to Ron, I want to bring in our founder, Joe. Joe?
Thank you, Dali. It is a pleasure to be here with you today as we honor our walking Marine, and I just wanted to kind of welcome him, say thank you for what he's doing. He does this on his own, with his own passion, and so he's very humble. And I just wanted to thank him for what he's doing in helping a military community. And there is Ron.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Ron.
Having me, and I don't really consider myself a hero. I'm just back for the wounded, and I don't consider myself a hero because I sat on my hands for 33 years and blamed everybody else. And once I took responsibility and realized if I do nothing, I allow this to continue. And that was unacceptable. And what triggered that was 9/11. And then, I closed down my business and worked to create awareness by walking barefoot across America, through the Appalachian barefoot. But I realized that wasn't enough. So we, had a homeless shelter and we did a lot of other things. But what really put us on the map and what really put us on steroids was the coronavirus. And I happened to hook up with some young men that got me on the internet, and we developed a mentorship program. And the mentorship program saves lives. And just being in the mentorship program is therapeutic in itself. And then once you go through it, it enables them to help other veterans that are going through, issues of anger and being lost. Because when we get out, we're angry and we're also lost because all our jobs and positions have been filled by our family and everybody around us. So we're kind of lost because we don't have a mission. So the mentorship program helps them create a mission, and they become a service again. And it's some people don't have to take. We have 10 challenges. We call it 10 challenges to service. Not everybody has to take all 10 challenges to have a transformation. But when you do all of those, we allow you to do additional training, and then you can mentor others. And we do it online in Zoom. And it's been amazing to see the transformation. And, most of us need much help. Most of us aren't broken. The majority of us aren't broken. And we'll be the last to go for help and admit we have a problem. But when you go and say you want to help somebody else, that's like first step. And we actually don't help anybody. We're dumb feather. We walk with you on your journey because you do all the work. We help guide you. We help you shift your perception by giving you different about. And we don't lead from the rear. We're not corporate patriots. We lead from the front because we do it first, and then we walk with you along that path. And as long as you need us on that journey. And then you make the transformation. And it's awesome because I don't know anybody that can't use any help. And so it's been really good because we mentor the families as well as the veterans, because people don't realize what the families go through. If you're from a military family, they say every family in the world is dysfunctional, and I believe them, because at least mine was, for sure. But we help them make that transition and help them understand the veteran, because people, when we get back, when we get out, people think we're the same person we were when we left, and we're not. And when I walked across the country every day, held by a mother that lost a child to suicide, and they all blame themselves. And this was their litany I heard every day. He told me I didn't believe me, known it's my fault. Because they still think that boy is not the man he is now. That boy that left is no man, and he's had a whole experience that we hope that you never experienced, that's changed them and changed their perception. So the mentorship program helps you, because we can never get you back to where you were when you left. But we can help you deal with that and then look at it differently, so that you can be of service again to help your community, your fellow veteran. And, I'm honored that you guys took the time out and, offered to have me speak. And also with the technology, because right now I'm speaking on my cell phone because I can't figure out how to get on a computer. So thank you all for helping me with that. And that's what's helped put us on the map, this technology, because with Corona, I couldn't go out and help people anymore the way I did. And I was one person doing what I do.
Yeah.
But once we went online, it's like we reach around the world, thousands of people, and we're looking for mentors to help us with that, because we get it out a little bit at a time, because otherwise we can't handle the amount of people that want to, help, and those that want to become mentors. So we're always looking for help in that.
Right. You have an amazing story, and actually, I just want to interrupt a little bit because Joe has to go, and he has a few more words for you.
I just wanted to thank you, Ron, for being on the show with us, and we're happy to have you as a community partner of the chamber, and just wanted to offer whatever we can do to help and support your cause. Happy to collaborate with you. But this is Dolly's show, so I don't want to take much of her time. Just wanted to welcome you and say thank you for what you do, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you on a one-on-one later. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Have a good one, Joe.
Thank you very much.
So, Ron, I have a few questions, because you just told us a lot about how you started this journey. You served in the military, and you said that you were pretty much dormant for many, many years. And 9/11 was what gave you that wake-up call. Was there a specific part of 9/11 that gave you that aha moment? And my second question is, why barefoot? Why did you decide to do it that way?
Well, I did it barefoot because when I was in the Marines, my orders were changed. I was supposed to go over to Vietnam with 5 other guys. They all went, and I'm just a 19-year-old kid thinking I'm really lucky. I didn't have to go. A month before I get out, I meet one of the 5, and he's limping, and I said, "What happened?" And he says, "We all got shot and died." So I carried this amazing amount of guilt and shame and anger all at once, and I decided I didn't want them to die and suffer for nothing, because I couldn't really figure out what was going on. I figured, they fought for my freedom. I can do what I want, so I'm not wearing shoes. But the problem was, when I got out, I didn't tell anybody why. People would say, "Why don't you wear shoes?" And I'd say, "I don't feel like it." You got a problem with that? So I was one angry guy, because I couldn't understand the war. And I still don't. I don't get the intel to make those decisions or really truly understand what's going on. And they treated us really bad when we got out. And, they called us baby killers, spit at us. It wasn't nice. So I never told anybody I was even in. And then when 9/11 happened, I heard the same verbiage, which really upset me when the president says we've exhausted every recourse and every source to resolve this conflict, and our only recourse is war. That's the same verbiage I heard back then. And I thought, you know what, if his son was in there, I bet he would find another way. So I was really angry. And then I realized if I do nothing, I allow this to continue, which is unacceptable to me. And, you know, I may never be able to stop a war, but at least I can help those young men and women that are coming home to maybe help make that shift so they can get home and not be angry. And, you know, I blamed everybody. It was everybody's fault but mine, you know. And then when I took responsibility was when I finally had power, because then I could do something and make a change. But before, when I blamed everybody else, I had no power. I gave it all away. So that's what, and the catalyst for that whole thing. I mean, 9/11 started percolating, and so I started having, you know, those dreams and nightmares, and it wasn't even in combat. But what triggered it was I had a gym, and I taught little kids to swim. And this little 5-year-old asked me why I didn't wear shoes. It was like God hit me with a 2x4 and said, "What are you doing?" That was the first person I told in 33 years why I didn't wear shoes. And then, you know, then I closed down my business and did my first walk of the Appalachian Trail. And I did that walk because I didn't have money. I'm not politically connected. I'm not a great speaker. And then I figured, well, this way I can get some attention. Somebody will notice. And then, you know, we can get a law passed, or, you know, people will write to congressmen and things will change. Well, nothing really changed. And then I realized I don't go tell somebody what to do. I do it, then ask them for help. And that's what I'm doing, because otherwise it would be just like I was before. Well, somebody should do this. Somebody should do that. Well, you know what? I'm somebody. But
Right.
like I said, I had given away my power. When I took control of my power is when I started to make a difference.
And that's really, really powerful because, you know, you could have continued doing nothing. And here you are, created this nonprofit organization that is helping people virtually. So, you know, boundary lines are not even there because, like you said, technology and the pandemic helped with this push of technology so you can reach out to military members leaving the service and veterans that are already out and struggling. So what surprised you the most during your journey advocating for veterans?
What surprised me most, we had a shelter. Well, I had several surprises, but one was we had a shelter in the Keys for homeless veterans. 80% of the people that came through my doors were children of veterans, because they grew up in such a dysfunctional home that they were broken before they got out of the house. So that surprised me. But it, you know, it just makes sense. We're 7% of the population or less, and we affect the entire country by how we show up, and everybody in our impact zone, especially our family, is affected by it, especially our children, because they don't know any better. That's how they grow up. That was a big surprise. And then another surprise was that, you know, I used to think I was the smartest guy in the room, and, you know, I was very arrogant, and, you know, I know what's going to happen. I knew what I'm doing. When I went to Washington, I thought I was telling them something they didn't know. They know exactly what they should be doing to help. And when I left there, I cried, because all they did was say, "Oh, you're doing a great job, keep it up," but nothing changed. And that's when I really, you know, that's when I really started doing more, because I'm not going to wait for Washington to do something. I'm going to do it. And if they help, fine. If they don't, fine. I'm doing this. And one of the things that surprised me too, when I started to walk across country barefoot, in the beginning, I was doing it for the veterans. And then I got thrown out of a federal building. I got, you know, I got shot at and stuff like that, you know, and and I'm thinking, oh, you know, I'm wasting my time. so what, who cares, it doesn't matter. You know what, I realized it matters to me, I care, and I'm going to do something about it, whether anybody else does anything or not. And when I did it that way, then I didn't have any expectations that you should do this because I'm doing that. No, you don't have to do anything. This is what I choose to do, and I'm doing it. And if you want to get something out of it, fine. If you don't, that's fine. Used to be very judgmental, and, now it's, I still slip into it once in a while, but I'm not, because it's your life. I don't know the way you're thinking, what your life background was, what you're trying to accomplish. And, I accept you the way you are, and that's it, and so that was a really good thing to learn, and I wrote a book. It took me 14 years to write it. I'm Polish and a Marine, so I'm a little, so you got to work with me there. But it's about my transformation, and it's people have been telling me it's helped them to understand, especially civilians who don't understand what somebody in the military went through or why they think or do the things they do. So that was really good, because I had a woman call me and say, thank you for the book, because now I understand my father. I used to think he hated me. I hated him, but I don't now after reading your book. So that was awesome,
And what is the title of your book?
It's The Long Walk Home by Ron Zaleski.
Is that available only on your website, or is that also on Amazon?
No, you can get it on Amazon as well.
Oh, that's
it's
great.
On Amazon. Yeah, or
that's
on
great.
our website.
Thank you. And we have Laura Torres, one of our co-hosts, and she says, yes, thank you for sharing. Many of our loved ones are broken before they show up, and this intensifies even more with their career in the military. Your story is very eye-opening, I'm sure, for a lot of people who are not aware about how unresponsive our politicians can be to such huge issues. And here you are, doing what you can to create awareness, and you go to the place where we're told to reach out to, right, our representatives, and they do nothing. So this is a clear indication that you as an individual need to, or should, do whatever you can, even the smallest things, in order to create change. So I'm very thankful for people like you, because I know that it takes a lot of energy, a lot of personal energy, especially when you have a personal mission behind it. So have you found any other challenges with helping the veterans, whether they're male or female, anything that has stood in the way to help, to help you accomplish the mission? Maybe funding or supplies or mentors, anything like that?
Well, I mean, it cost us $1,200 per mentor to get to create a mentor. And, we're always looking, like I said, for, people that want to be mentors. We're always looking for somebody that believes in what we're doing, because, for us to create, 500 mentors, that's $500,000. It's a lot of money, but the more we have, the more people we can reach, because, there's expenses tied to it, like, the internet, we have to hire people to work full time to do this, because we tried to work with just volunteers, but they disappear. They can only put in so much time, and then how much can you ask of them? I mean, not everybody's like me. I mean, I did it on my dime for 14 years, because This is what I believe in. This is what I'm doing, so, that's just the way it is. I mean, if you buy the book and take a look at it and believe in you got to believe in what we do. If you don't believe in what we do, don't give it out of guilt. Believe that, what we're doing is the right thing, and you would like to get involved and see what we do, because I got nothing to hide. It's all there online. My book is like, people told me, you got to be kidding me about this stuff, But how can I ask somebody to be honest and have them trust me? If I don't trust them, I can be open and honest and transparent with you.
Right.
So
right.
So, and like, you talk about politicians. I just want to say one thing, that the ones that are veterans understand it and work for the cause, but they're so outnumbered that they get nowhere because a lot of the guys, they get lost in their own cause. They don't stand it, and they start to be more concerned about money than they do their constituents. So, it's just life.
Yeah, yeah. So, were there any particular characteristics that you're looking for in mentors, and how long? Because I saw on your website that your website, thelongwalkhome.org, that you have a mentorship certification. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Different ways of doing it. You can do a one-on-one program with somebody through the 10 challenges, or you can do it where we do it in 3 nights over the course of 3 weeks, 3 hour and a half sessions, or we're doing an experiment this month coming up where we're going to do it in 1 day. And then we have one mentor work with, like 4 people, because we don't want to give them too many so everybody gets a chance to talk, and it creates camaraderie. And just taking the program is therapeutic in itself. And then if you choose to, because not everybody does, then we do additional training, and then you can lead a group just like we do. And we sit with you on your first one so that you go through it and you feel comfortable, because the basic thing is be able to listen, be able to see them, acknowledge them, and then also to call them on their stuff. Because, if we have a challenge, what are your goals? And, you can't feed your family, and you can't find a job, and, stuff like that. And you tell me your goals are, well, I want to clean out my closet in a month, and I want to lose 5 pounds. Well, you got to give me something that's realistic, because you're just avoiding it. You've got to look at yourself and what do you need to do? Don't just give me something because you don't want to dig deep inside of yourself and face the issue. Because we also do financial aid and a lot of, we'll aid anybody with anything, but they have to take the first 4 challenges. If you can't do that, I'm not helping you, because you don't need my help to sleep in your puke or run up your credit card debt and lose your job. You're doing great on your own. You don't need my help for that. But if you want to change and you want a better life, then come to me and we'll walk with you when you make that change.
Are there any type of professional backgrounds that mentors need to have in order to join your program, or you just anybody who's willing to take the certification?
Yep, and like I said, it's up to you. And we have trained therapists. We have, I have chaplains, military chaplains that work with, and I have therapists that work with us and stuff. So, there's plenty of backup for you. And like I said, we do another training on top of that, and we walk with you through your first 1 or 2, whatever it takes. Because, becoming a mentor, like I said, is therapeutic. And then when you mentor people, it's like, I get what Santa Claus gets when he gives a kid a gift. I get it. I used to think it was a myth that, giving people stuff was like, you got more out of it than they did. Well, I get it now, because when I walk with somebody and they only in their life and I see them change, it's like I can't explain it. It just makes you feel good. Like when you give your kid a gift and he lights up. It's the same thing.
Yeah, a very, very wonderful feeling of gratification, and just to know that you're putting a little happiness and positivity into people's into their lives. So, Ron, if somebody's asking, well, what else do you need? You need mentors, but is there anything else that we can help you with?
Well, yeah, like I said, we need, if people have a way to get us time online, because we have a lot of cost on the internet when we do ad spends to reach out to more people. And, we need supplies because we send out a manual, we send out a certificate for those, we send out a T-shirt, to make them feel part of it. So, I mean, all those things cost money, in the manual. We send out a manual to them, and the manual alone cost us $12, and then to send it's like another 5 or 6. So, and the more we, want to do 1,000 mentors by the end of this year.
Oh,
We're
wow. That's
fine tuning it. Yeah, we may not reach that number, but you know what? The ones we reach, it makes a difference. Some people, never complete it, but they got out of it what they did. Some people shift their perception on the first challenge. And to me, that's a success, because now you have a reason to live. You've changed. That's awesome. And some people want to continue to do all 10 and to help somebody else. Or some people need to go through all 10 just to make that shift, because everybody's different. So it's.
And how about a veteran who might be needing your services? How can they reach out to you, and how can they learn more about, the services or resources that you provide?
Well, they can reach out to us online, or they can reach me personally. My email is ron@thelongwalkhome.org. You can reach me personally, reach us on the internet on our website, which is thelongwalkhome.org. We have a group. My terminology might be off, but we have a group, military to civilian life, and we have a Facebook page, which is The Long Walk Home, and I'm thinking that's .org as well. So you can reach us in a lot of different ways, but don't be afraid to call me. I may not get back to you. Ryan may not be able to pick up the phone that instant, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and we'll take it.
Are there any special needs that we can help you with to help the female veterans? Because I know that sometimes they require different resources.
What I like to have is a resource like yours. So let's say I get somebody that calls me up and says, we need, I'm in Kansas and I need a ramp to get into my house, or I need to get a ride somewhere, or, so then I can reach out to you, because you say, look, this is what we kind of specialize in. This is what we can do. And then I can reach out to you and say, geez, I got this guy. Could you help me with him? Because, we like to collaborate with a lot of other organizations, because together we can do a lot more than by myself. And I have no problem. We get some people that need a lot more help. I send them to one of the other local organizations I deal with, or they need a job. I send them to somebody else that specializes in that. And that's, that's it.
All right. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Ron. I want to end it on a higher note. So let's play a little game. I'm going to throw out 3 words, and you'll respond with the first word that comes to mind. Okay. All right. Love.
Family.
Service member.
Brother.
I love that. Adventure.
Living.
And last question. If you could talk to yourself, maybe 3 years after having left the military, what would you say to yourself?
If I could see myself 3 years after I got out of the military.
If you could speak to yourself.
First I'd probably smack myself across the head. Say, wake up, stupid. And I would sit down and have a talk and listen to myself and say, you're angry, and you want to talk about it. I don't know, because at that age, listen to anybody. So for me, I would just have to sit there and be silent and listen, and just say, hey, I'm from the future. Is there anything you want to ask me? Because a lot of guys come to me and they say to me, am I going to make it? And I say, you're going to make it. But it's going to be a little rough. This is what you're going to have to do. But I've learned, I used to give people my advice and they never asked for it, so it had no value. But now when they ask me, it has value because they want to know, they want an answer, and they have the answer. But it's just that you have to be still for a while, and have somebody walk with you, because it's scary. Where I used to say I'm not afraid of anything. I was afraid of a lot of things. I just never admitted. That's why I was so angry.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, that's very powerful, Ron. Thank you so much. I'm just going to recap. We've talked with Ronald Zielinski about the long way, the long walk home, his nonprofit organization that has a mission to help service members leaving the military and integrating back into civilian life. And remember, you can. Oh, I'm sorry. That was unforeseen, but please make sure to check his website. And if you want to be a mentor, go for it, because there are a lot of people out there in need. And I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, especially Ron, for coming in and taking some time to share about his mission. And also just for having that courage to step out there and do this, because it takes a lot of energy. And I know that it can be very scary. So everybody, thanks again. Join us next Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific. We want to thank our everybody who tuned in, and most importantly, you and the service members. Now go on and have a wonderful weekend. Hug your military partners and your military family members and your veterans. And don't forget to just check up on them and say, hey, how can I help? Until next time.